Hello, beautiful people. My name is Vendi, and this is Work in Progress Wednesday, Volume 2. Today, I thought that I would bring you here while I ate, so I didn't have to make eye contact with the camera as much. I want to talk about expectations and guilt. If you remember, a couple weeks back in my first Work in Progress Wednesday video, I told you guys about my grand ambitions for fast drafting Project Gemini. And if you saw last week's Writer Wednesday video where I did a 24-hour writing vlog, then you already sort of know what I'm going to be talking about. Essentially, I assumed that by the start of October, I would have finished about half of the draft, and then for the rest of October, I could just easily work on the second half, that I'd have, the outline completely done, that I would have a really solid from the beginning to the midpoint section complete. And were circumstances slightly different, that might have actually transpired. I thought it was a realistic goal. I don't set goals that I don't think are realistic because I think that's just setting yourself up for failure. I genuinely believed that I could succeed. I apologize. I will try not to flash you the food that I'm chewing on. I should have foreseen this as a potential side effect of a mukbang video. So I genuinely believed I could do the thing. And then the semester began. Now, my schedule this semester is a little more intense than usual. I am in my next to last semester of college. I'm a college senior. I'm going to graduate on time with my graduating class, which because of the transfer didn't seem like it was going to happen at first, but I did it. I'm going to succeed at that at the very least. But the classes that I'm taking this semester ended up being a little tougher than I anticipated, and the way that I have them spaced out, I basically spend 8 hours a day at school. I'm there at 8 doing readings, busy work and writing essays. Then I have one lecture for about 2 hours, and then I have a 2-hour break where I cram a little bit of food into my mouth and I continue reading, writing essays, etc. And then I have another lecture, and then I can go home. From Monday through Thursday that I'm doing that. And on top of that, I have a job, one that I need to do to pay bills so that I can live here. And because I live here, pardon me, and by virtue of having a place to live, it's a place that's also got to get cleaned because I'm obsessive compulsive. I need to keep it at a certain standard of cleanliness because I'm a giant germaphobe. I also need to eat, and so does my boyfriend, and he works even longer hours than I do. So while he does contribute to cooking a good bit, for the most part, I'm the one making sure that we eat breakfast and dinner, and that his lunch is packed when he goes to work. And also, I'm trying to be more candid about, mental illness. When it gets cold and dark and gross, I get very profoundly sad. One of the symptoms of that sadness is an awful lethargy, where I can't force myself to get out of bed sometimes, or wash my hair. One way that I found to put a pause on that and to sort of help quell my obsessive thoughts is to exercise every single day for an hour. Basically, so I don't bore you, there are a lot of tasks that I have to do to function as an individual. And while writing is one of them, as far as the nurturing of my soul and the attempt to establish this as a career for myself, it is not a necessity to my continued breathing or my continued ability to financially support myself. So those things come first. And so writing was put on the back burner, and I figured, oh no biggie, it's still on a burner. But then that burner shut down and my entire oven exploded, and I just became very overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do. And the entire month of September with people and classes, it was too much. I wasn't sleeping. I was getting sad despite my exercise and lethargic despite my exercise. And it wasn't a good time. I could show you the days, matter of fact, I will. So this is my mini habit tracker for the month of October. That's writing. See all those X's and blanks? Yeah. It got to the point where my original reason for scribbling in one of those boxes would be writing 1,500 words. It got to the point where if I wrote 200 words for that day, I was yes, it's a writing day. And I was failing. I was failing to reach the deadline that I told you guys that I could do. And that was another part of why it hit me so hard. Excuse me. In addition to letting myself down and proving to myself that I couldn't do it, I knew that in a week or two, I'd have to get in front of this camera and tell you guys that I'd failed. And that horrified me. It only horrifies me less now. At the beginning of the month, you saw my 24-hour writing vlog where I got 8K words, which for 24 hours, granted it wasn't a full 24 hours. Case in point, I got the writing done. I caught up on everything that I ought to have been able to do. The bare minimum. I caught up to the bare minimum of what the deadline said I had to do by the end of September. Though I was proud. I hope you guys can see how proud, despite how tired I was that day. There was like the undercurrent of this is what it came to, right? Like I had to put my life on hold. I had to, you know, make Marco take over cleaning and cooking. And you saw I was planning to get essays done. I ended it up managing, but just barely, to do everything I needed to do for the next day. And work, I mean, that was why I was pausing so much throughout the day. That's why I had to, you know, turn it into like a 36-hour writing vlog. I had to push myself to that point to be able to even a little bit say that I'd succeeded. And despite it feeling like a success, it also felt like a massive failure. If I hadn't done it, I think my shame would have been so big that I couldn't film this video. I mean, I still would, because I want to update you on my progress, and I want to let you know sometimes it's not, you know, rainbows and smiles. It's not always an easy process. It's not even always a fun process. Sometimes it's draining on a physical and an emotional level. And I want to be honest about that with you guys. But to have like sat down and admitted I've done nothing, it still makes me like sick to my stomach to think of admitting a failure so publicly as this. Which I'm doing that now. It's not as big a failure as it could have been, but I still consider it a failure. And I want to change that. That's what I wanted to sit down here and talk about briefly. I shouldn't feel like it's a failure, right? Because this isn't my job. No one relies on me to do this. And I still managed like a good chunk of something, despite the craziness that is my schedule. I still managed something, but I still feel like a failure. I feel this immense amount of shame, and shame is paralyzing to me. I want to talk to you guys about setting more reasonable goals. As of this point, so far, October has been a much better writing month than September. I've missed a couple of days, but I think that the way I'm doing it is a little better. So now you know how things have been going with the WIP and with me. Now's the part, right, where I tell you my new goals. So for the rest of October, so for all basically of October by the time I'm filming this, I have realized that if I just, you know, assign myself a word count goal, the book's not going to get written by October 31st. And I still really, really want to try to make that deadline, or as close to it as possible, maybe a week more, but 31st is like, it's my firm deadline as much as I possibly can make it. So and a word count goal is not going to help me achieve it. So what I've had to do is adjust my daily goals. I have to write at least 2 scenes a day, and I have to outline the next 2 scenes every single day. That's easier said than done, because sometimes scenes are thousands of words, sometimes they're just hundreds of words. It depends on what kind of scene it is. So if it's a bunch of short scenes, then it's, you know, 2 scenes or 2,000 words, whichever one comes second. But for the bigger scenes, it's like just defeat this beast, and then you can move forward. Because, you know, books are written sentence by sentence, but they're built scene by scene. So if I can get the building blocks of it knocked out one by one, eventually I'll be able to finish this. I'm making headway into Act 2. It'll be done, by the time you're seeing this, Act 2 will hopefully be done, and I'll be working on Act 3. So I'm trying to kill the idea of shame. I need to like let it go, put the past behind me, be like, all right, I can't change this, but I can change how I'm gonna proceed in the future, and then stick to that. It's really hard for somebody with obsessive thought spirals to let things go, but I'm gonna try my damnedest. I'm still gonna be working, I'm still gonna be exercising, I'm still gonna be doing school. And I think I need to let myself get into the mental health headspace that says it's okay to prioritize these things. Matter of fact, you have to prioritize these things. And it's okay if that means writing sometimes slips up. But I don't wanna give myself so much leeway that I don't get this project done. So y'all know my goals. If you see me liking stuff on Twitter, be like, Vendy, you should be writing. Please just at me, shame me, help me, please. I want this. I believe in this story. I need to defeat the lethargy, and I need to defeat my own self-defeating mental state and schedule. Plans are bullshit if you don't put work behind them. I'm gonna put the work behind them. This is my vow. So I hope at least some of this made sense to you guys. TLDR. I've been struggling. I'm going to continue to struggle, but I'm going to try my absolute hardest to finish this fast draft on the schedule that I've set for myself. I have to finish eating, and then I have to write. Actually, no, I have work first, and then I get to write. So I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up. And if you like me, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. If nothing else, I will remind you that there is at least one trash fire that's greater than all the others. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you with another video very, very soon. Goodbye.